Okay, so for next section I'm going to use these two colors, and it will be the same as this section. So one row of double crochets and one row of single crochets, and we want to have decreases in both sides. So start with a slip knot and connect your yarn on top of this section, which is the top of our last decreases here. Going to make it secure, chain one, and then we're having two double crochets here for decrease. That would be like this, and then continue by adding double crochets all over the row until we get to the last 3 stitches at the other end of this row. Okay, so I'm here and I only have 3 stitches left, so I'm going to add my decrease here. And then because I want to switch to the other color, I'm not finishing with the same color. Instead, I'm using my other color here. So make sure that you tighten this one and you have a tail left to make it secure, and then you want to switch, you want to turn your work. But let me cut this one first. I'm going to turn my work, and then we are going to have a decrease here, but this time it's a single crochet decrease. So I'm not finishing the single crochet, I'm adding another single crochet, and I'm working through the 3 loops all together, and then simply continue by adding single crochets here until you get to the end of the row and the last 2 stitches of the row where you want to do the decrease, and then switching to the other yarn. I'm doing the decrease in here. This is so tight, I can't pull through my hook into it. Let me switch to a very small hook so I can get through this one. Yep. Okay. And then I'm going to switch back to my blue yarn, and then make sure you are leaving enough tail to weave in the ends. Okay, I'm going to turn, and then I'm going to decrease. This time it's a double crochet decrease, so and then I'm going to cut my yarn here, continue by adding double crochets on top of each stitch until the end, and when I reach the last 3 stitches. So you want to do this 2 more times. One other orange row with single crochet, and one other blue row with double crochet. decrease the 3 last stitches into one, and then switching to other color. Again, we are going to start with a decrease. And then continuing with single crochets on and decrease in the last 2 stitches of the row. After we're all finished with this yarn, I'm going to cut it and then turn my work, and I'm going to add 2 double crochets here. Actually, I'm going to increase with 2 double crochets here, and then continue by double crochets until the end, and I have another decrease at the end. Okay, I'm finishing this row with my last decrease here, and we are done with this section. And I'm going to be in these ends to make sure they are all safe and secure. Okay, here we are with this section, and there is only one section left, which would be similar to this part and also this part. So it's just gonna be another colors, and we're going to have decreases on both sides, and then it would be a very small section, and then we are almost done, and then we're all done. Just like this. It's super beautiful, colorful, and yeah, you can have your imagination with different colors or different patterns as well. Okay, I'm going to attach my yarn to on top of the decrease. So this is my decreased section, so I'm going to attach the yarn here and adding 1 chain and then 2 and increases in next 2 stitches, so it would be 2 double crochets here and then decrease, and continue with double crochets until you reach the end of the row here, and consider that you have to decrease the last 3 stitches into 1. So I got 2 other more here, and then add a crease. And I'm going to switch my yarn to next color. Turn the work, decrease by a single crochet in next 2 stitches, single crochet until you reach last 2 stitches, and see. And then I have these 2, which I'm going to actually these are my last 2. And then I want to switch back to the brown yarn, so cut it from the other side and attach it to this side. And chain 1. Turn your work. You can also cut this yarn here. So again, I'm going to decrease into next 2 stitches, which would be here, and then I have 1 double crochet in between, and then I've got my next decrease. Here, switching to the other color, turn your work, and as you can see I have only 3 stitches left, and I want to decrease them all into 1 stitch, and that's it, and we are all done with the work of this project. I'll weave in all the ends to make sure all of them are safe and secure, and then I'll show you the look of this. Okay, so this is the final look. You can go ahead and add a border on around your work to make it a little bit more beautiful, and then it's kind of like work best on blankets and on cushions. And then yeah, that's it, and you can use it for with other color combinations, with other patterns, and anything that you'd like to add or remove from this pattern is completely by your taste.